Thank you very much. The Obama administration has failed, and it's time for a change. Record debt of $17 trillion by the end of the year. It's time for a change. Record deficits. 40 cents of every dollar the federal government has borrowed and borrowed from China. We've lost our AAA bond rating. Solyndra is gifts been given out to businessmen who we don't even know where that money's gone. Rising gas prices. Economic failure. And one of the most negative and dirty campaigns we have ever seen in the history of the country. President Ronald Reagan, when he came into office, solved the economic problems, following many of the ideas of former Congressman Jack Kemp. But also Reagan had, along with Jack Kemp, he had a freedom agenda. Ronald Reagan said that the words in the Constitution and the words in the Declaration of Independence were a covenant. They were just not for the people in Philadelphia in 1776. They were for the people of the world. The Obama administration has the worst record on human rights and religious freedom of any administration that's ever worked in Washington. The genocide continues in Darfur and they say nothing. In Vietnam, the Catholic Church is being persecuted, the Buddhists are being persecuted, and American citizens in jail, and the American ambassador will not go see him, and the Obama administration says nothing. Slave labor camps in North Korea where people are in basically gulags, and you've never heard this administration say a word. Anti-Semitism spreading around the world, and you never hear a word out of this administration. In Egypt, Coptic Christians live in fear. I was in Egypt last year. Coptic Christians live in fear. And do you ever hear this administration say anything? No. If you're a Baha'i in Egypt, you can't even get a driver's license, and yet this administration says nothing. And in Iraq, the Assyrian Chaldean Catholic Church live in fear, and this administration has not been able to help them. The more biblical activity took place in Iraq than any other country other than Israel, and this administration says nothing. And then we watch. It's painful to watch. Then we watch what's taking place in Syria. And I believe, and I stand with John McCain, and I stand with Lindsey Graham, that we must be involved somehow and do something. We can no longer stand by and see people slaughtered. And keep in mind that Assad's #1 friend is Ahmadinejad in Iran. His #2 friend is the Hezbollah that blew up the Marine barracks. And this administration, what do? They send it to the UN and they do nothing.
A new order. So I was walking out and I thought I heard an alligator, but they were really good. I didn't remember. I didn't
Decent, ethical